So there's like, what, 5 minutes? My agent didn't tell me. I've been married for 30 years. And then after being married for 4 years, we had our first kid, and then now we have 3. They're not kids anymore, they're all young adults, so, and they all still live at home. It makes life interesting because everybody's at a different level of where they are, so it's pretty cool. Nathan's 26, he's married, they just had a baby 6 months ago next week, and they're here too, but it's really cool because not often do grandparents get a chance to you know, have a little one here for the first 6 months of their life, so it's cool. I didn't expect it to be like this.
So we were doing married people things, and just one day I came home and there was a gift sitting on a table for me, and I opened it up and it was a pregnancy stick that said pregnant, and it was a little onesie, and I was like, kind of like, crap, are you serious? And when she came back, I totally embraced her and just was like, let's do this. Like, I'm excited, I'm happy.
He's a really, really good dad, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that he had great role models.
As far as like moving back in with my family, with my little family, I don't think anything has gotten in the way of anything. At all.
The biggest struggle actually has always been with Nathan. Since we've got, like I said, babies are us here. You know, there's stuff everywhere. Now we got a high chair.
It's been a ride and has its ups and downs, but I mean, you totally forget about the downs when you see him just smiling, laughing, and chuckling with you. My neighbor Dave, I was in high school, his kids were super young, so it wasn't easy to get to know him at first, but then we were outside throwing football, and then he and his son, at the time, they'd come out and we'd start putting game jerseys on, and we'd play football in the street, and from then on, it's just been like one sarcastic joke since then. It's been fun.
And I have 3 kids, which is the oldest, Julian Carrasco, which is, he's 16, Vanessa, she's 15, and Lauren, which she's turned 13 in July. My heroes in life, oh, it was Iron Man and Thor. Is that what you're talking about? Because it's always been, you know. It was Iron Man and Thor, and I had Bruce Lee back because he was alive when I was growing up, and Clint Eastwood. Oh, he's a badass. I love Clint Eastwood. I love all his spaghetti western movies, you know. So, yeah, sometimes I try to grow a beard like him.
My 2 grown children, I have Brian and Amanda. They're not living at home anymore.
Carlos I've known, I was thinking about this for about 20 years, 21 years, because his son Brian and Nathan were on the same soccer team forever.
The only ones in my neighborhood that I can actually call friends are the Mattners. I feel very proud of my kids. Both of them went to a university, they graduated, they're on their own. It takes some adjusting, you know, because your whole, you know, for the last, you know, 17 years, they've been with you, and you know, you've been part of their life, and you know, it was hard when my son left. It was hard when my daughter left. It gets a little lonely, you know. You're an empty nester now, so what you do is you get a dog. You get a dog, and you bring a dog, and it helps, you know.
I am 41, and I'm a commercial real estate broker. I am single. Right now, I'm actually living at home with my mom. So, no, I do not have any children, unless you want to count my 2 dogs.
The football thing's interesting because Carlos is a Steelers fan and Dave's a Vikings fan, and neither one of them have ever been to the cities of the teams that they root for. And I said, you can't be a fan of the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Minnesota Vikings if you've never been to the freaking city, honestly.
Well, the only football team that matters is the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I understand somebody interviewed with a Vikings shirt. Shouldn't have done that. It should have been a Pittsburgh Steeler, if anything, but that's something else I'm very proud of. My kids grew up Pittsburgh Steeler fans, so yeah.
So we have this thing, and that's why he put on a Viking shirt when he came over here. So I had to counteract the evil spirits that walked in with that Viking shirt.
But apparently your dad don't like the fact that I'm a Viking fan. And when I found out he's a Packer fan, I'm like, oh man. You know.
I will say things just to rub under people's skin, just to get them a little bit going. And then Carlos is great. He's got a great sense of humor, so he's quick right back with it. Dave, he's a little slower.
Good thing. You can always stir the pot though with anybody. It's just, that's easy to think. Once you feel the dynamics of the room, it's easy to kind of play with it. With Dave, the kids are kind of penned up a lot. Like with 3 kids, like I don't understand, like they're not outside all the time.
I like to go outside and, you know, play with them a lot when I get home.
And they're outside for like 20 minutes. And I don't know, I just think that's like a short amount of time for the kids to be outside. Because I know the 3 of them, they aren't very physical guys. They don't even know what's going on in the neighborhood. It's just like, how could you not realize that? Like, the car has been parked there for 2 weeks. Yeah. You know, the stakes are higher when you have children.